This video brought to you by our Patreons. Please consider supporting this channel and joining our Patreons at patreon.com/NovaWing24.
Hi there folks, my name's NovaWing24 and welcome to the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for your simulation release news and goings on from the week that was. So here we are on Sunday the 4th of October for another edition, and we're going to jump straight into it this week with more releases for Microsoft Flight Simulator, starting with the team from Latin VFR releasing their edition of San Diego International. So this airport looks like I'm not going to say it's a port over, but it definitely lends itself probably to the original release, but they have overhauled it a lot more, so maybe it is a true ground up rebuild. So it touts a highly accurate rendition of the airport as it appears in 2020, including all major airport buildings, all rendered with high resolution textures and full use of PBR materials, a full set of custom realistic airport lighting sets used throughout. Probably the big one that's probably to note for this one is actually outside the airport. So as well as giving us the usual sort of the usual sales pitch of the highly detailed airport, blah blah blah, they've also included a full modeling of the major buildings of downtown San Diego, all of which have been custom points of interest. It doesn't specify exactly which ones, but it says a variety of buildings have been enhanced to include full set of PBR material and accurate night lighting. They also included a landable carrier, the USS Midway, but bear in mind this is, for those of you my ears kind of perked up for carrier ops, it is a museum ship, so it is not a underway carrier with actual arrestor wires, but at least it gives us something for those STOL pilots among us, or eventually for our helicopter friends, to be able to land on downtown as well. So this one is available now direct from Latin VFR for $16 or your original equivalent. And if you are a previous owner of the previous edition for the Legacy Sims, there is a discount available for you, available now from Latin VFR. Continuing on with scenery releases this week, this time from Tropical Sim. So the release of their edition of another. Well, this one is a direct port. So this is VC Bird International in Antigua, which is the largest of the Leeward Islands, and so the largest of the English-speaking Leeward Islands, and it provides a springboard for anyone wanting to explore the Caribbean. Now, this rendition, as I said, the very little information about this basically says highly detailed rendition of the airport, full night illumination included, fully functional animated jetway, seamless integration with default scenery, so that means they've at least blended their content quite well. And full use of the native dynamic lighting setup as well. But as I said, looking at the pictures, looking at the imagery, this looks suspiciously like this is a straight port. And the aerial imagery is, the ortho imagery of the airport is kind of showing that one. So yeah, if you want to pick this one up, you can pick this one up from Sim Market for $18 or your original equivalent, available now. Continuing on with another airport release. This one, another one, a bit of an odd one. So this one saw the release of Sultan Iskandar Muda Airport from developer Binasim. So this is really interesting. This is again another. I was about to say an interesting airport. It's kind of is, kind of isn't. But what it is though is this is a direct port of the previous release from the same developer of this Indonesian airport. And again, the imagery that it's sitting on is really showing that it's a direct port. I mean, the terminal's really different. It's kind of weird. It's definitely, the architecture is fairly unique. But yeah, as I said, it's really obvious that this is a direct port. So yeah, if you want to pick this one up new for $9, so the price point's not too bad. And you also, if you are a previous owner of the original version, you get a 30% discount, available now from OneSim Store. Continuing on with more scenery releases, this time from developer Samscene 3D, who are of course famous for doing their cityscapes, released their first product for Microsoft Flight Simulator with their release of Shanghai City Times. So this is this one is I always have mixed feelings about Samscene's releases, but this one actually looks pretty decent. I think it's a little overpriced, but I think the actual release is pretty good. So this is essentially their version of a landmarks pack. So what they've done is they've added approximately 200 iconic buildings and apartments, including all major museums, all major museums, hotels, banks, landmarks, and major apartment buildings in the Shanghai city center area. All of those have been done with full PBR and full custom night lighting as well. They've also slightly tweaked the MSFS default Pearl Tower because the size is not quite right, and they've added a custom night effect to it as well. So kind of cool, kind of awesome. I think it's a little overpriced. So it's $13 considering that the landmark pack from Orbix and from GeoVexy Designs is, I think, $8. I think, as I said, I know it's not a lot, but we as consumers need to make sure that we're taking stands about this and we're actually saying what we will stand for when it comes to pricing. But yeah, otherwise, as I said, the quality actually looks pretty good. So fairly impressed just from the couple of screenshots that I've seen. Looks kind of good. Could be interesting. Could be your thing. Available now from Samsung directly. Continuing on with releases for the new sim, and one that I'm glad it's come out. I'm kind of disappointed that we had to see it. So this is a release from Rex Game Studios of their release of Rex 6 Weather Force 2020. Now, there's been so let's talk about the elephant in the room here. The elephant in the room here is that Microsoft Flight Simulator has a really good weather engine, but its input data seems to be not the most reliable, because we're getting, a lot of people get sort of conflicting information coming through, and even in some of the group flights that I've managed on Twitch, we're using lifetime weather, lifetime weather. We're getting visually similar things, but we're getting different data coming at us from our ATC. So, Rex has come out with their weather force for the new sim, where they're getting more frequent updates from NOAA for updates there, which I'm assuming, I want to hope it means it's going to work outside of North America, because that would really suck if it didn't. But yeah, it actually comes through and actually goes and essentially overhauls. So it doesn't necessarily replace the weather engine in the sim, but it aids it. And it does look like it seems to give a more reliable, more stable connection with the updates coming from NOAA. Now, a couple of other things that come through here that they include with it as well, which is kind of interesting, is their dynamic changing weather scenarios setup. So essentially, in the default sim, you've got and previous releases as well, you get a set of default weather presets, which you can also customize yourself as well. Well, not for this new sim yet, but I'll leave that topic to another day. What this injects in is a dynamic changing weather scenario. So instead of having it static, so it injects that same weather system across the entire planet, it'll actually sort of say, okay, so we're going to give you this, and it will evolve into something else over time, which is a really cool way of doing it, and actually is more reflective of real life. So I think that's kind of cool as a way to balance, wanting to have custom scenarios versus wanting to be able to have something dynamic. I think it's a great compromise. Could be interesting to see how the implementation goes. As I said, it doesn't make any graphical changes to your sim. It just simply improves the weather engine that's there by supplementing it. So overall, I think it's pretty good. I think really that with the price tag, you're paying for a lot of the online services that are still being developed. But probably the biggest thing for me is that's on their feature roadmap. So it's not available right now, but it is a feature that's coming, which is historical weather data, which is a huge thing for people like myself who do reviews, and we want to be able to, plan stuff, and we want to be able to do things over, especially if we can't record something all in one session. Being able to recreate content using the same weather metars is really, really important without having to rely on the default inbuilt scenarios. So that is as I said, it's not available at launch, but it is on their roadmap for develop. So I'll definitely be waiting for that with bated breath. Now, if you do want to pick this one up, you can pick this one up for $22 or the original equivalent, available direct from Rex Game Studios. Continuing on with releases for the new sim, saw the release this week from Black Box Simulations of their rendition of the Cessna L19 Birddog. what to say about this. So there's no information. Bottom line is the problem with this release is there is nothing. There is squat. Visually looks okay, but it looks like it's almost a direct port over from FSX, which concerns me a great deal. As I said, like visually, it's got the enhancements that come from the new graphical engine, but overall, just looking at it, like the company's released no information about this. Now, don't get me wrong here, I absolutely love this release when it came out for Prepared and FSX. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was a stupidly fun little aeroplane. It comes with 3 variants. This one comes with 3 variants out of the box. It comes with standard, bush, tundra tires, and it comes with floats. So you get a float plane version. So really awesome. Sort of great to get another aquatic aircraft in our sim. But yeah, it's just really interesting that it just as I said, the information from Black Box was minimal. It looks very suspiciously like it's pretty much a direct port with some changes, but very minimal. Haven't been proven wrong, but literally there is no information about it. No changelog, no update history, no this is what we fixed, this is what we changed, this is what we did. Just there's literally nothing, which is really disappointing for a developer. Plus, I'll be honest, I have a problem with how they announced it. I have a fundamental problem with how they announced it. Now, we get that the SDK, taking my reviewer and my news hat off for a second here and putting my developer hat on here, we get that the SDK is not finished. We know it is. We're all working through it. We're all doing our best. But to come out the way Black Box did and say, oh, we got no help from anybody. It's like, well, they're probably trying to fix a lot. Their developers, they're kind of focusing on the core sim, which they should be, by the way. And yes, we know the SDK is not finished. We're all working with it. So just because you wanted to rush a product to market doesn't mean you get to blame everybody else. And the fact that they're already coming out and saying, oh, we got no help, oh, it's so hard to work with, and all the rest of it, it's like, well, are you simply, what's your reasoning? What's your motivation behind that? And I have a lot of questions about what the motivation is behind that, and I don't like where I go with that thought process. I'm not going to say it, but I don't like where I go with that thought process. So I was very, very, very disappointed with how Black Box handled that announcement. Anyway, but if you don't want to pick this one up, you can pick this one up direct from Black Box Simulations website, available for I don't know if it's high or not, but the $30 US it's coming in for, available now from Black Box Sims. Continue on with another release for Microsoft Flight Simulator this week. Saw the release from FS Academy of their Voyager Discovery Flights pack. This one. So when I saw Discovery Flights, I'm like, okay, this is going to be cool. It's going to be more bush trips, more sort of structured events. That's kind of cool. That's going to be awesome. And I've dug a little deeper into it, and this is basically a new version of Perfect Flight, just pushing out selling you a flight plan for about $2 a pop, or $1.50 a pop. So it includes 7 discovery flights. So there's the Alps, Canary Islands, Florida Keys, New York City to Toronto, New Zealand, LA to Bryce Canyon, and the Gold Coast. So alarm bells really started ringing for me straight away when this discovery flight, when it says, so that Gold Coast discovery flight is a 450 nautical mile trip, and it says the Australian Gold Coast is a major destination for people the world over, famed for its expansive beaches. Circle around Sydney and take in the iconic skyline. So for those who may not know Australian geography, they're in 2 completely different states. So all they've done is here's a VFR flight plan that takes you from Coolangatta Airport to Sydney, or vice versa, I don't know. And that's it. Because the other thing is, it says that as opposed to bush trips, you have complete flexibility with your choice of aircraft, time, season, weather conditions, including live weather. Fly it your way. Okay, cool story. So what that is, all that means is, then this is a flight plan. This isn't a mission. This isn't a mission. This isn't a bush trip. This is a flight plan that you load and you fly. So in that case, I'm going to offer a free plug to everybody. Anybody who wants to enjoy a flight and discover parts of the world, please come and join join myself and my community over on Twitch, twitch.tv/NovaWing24 at any time. We usually stream Microsoft Flight Simulator about 3 times a week, and we usually have flight plans and we fly together as communities and we discover parts of the world. So I encourage you to do that. Or, as I said, you can do this packet. You can get this pack from Sim Market for $9 or your regional equivalent, available now. Moving out of Microsoft Flight Simulator and moving into the world of Prepared and the ESP Sims. Starting with some Prepared exclusive releases, Fly Tampa have finally rebooted their rendition of Sydney Airport and Australia, and finally making it genuinely actually compatible with Prepared v4.5 and v5. It's kind of been a bit of a saga, actually, because they released it not long before V4 was released, and they never updated it until now. Now, very little information about this at the moment. There is a upgrade path if you are an existing owner, but essentially it looks like they've essentially slapped PBR texturing on some of the ground textures and some of the building textures. They have overhauled some of the airport, though, which is good to see. So they've reflecting the remodeling of Gate 10. They've added in the new parking ramp, the new Kilo parking ramp. They've added the new shopping terminal as well, which is just off the main airport. Updated some dynamic lighting. Updated some of the various clutter, including replacing the static 747 with a static A380, considering that 747 is no longer flown by Qantas, and a variety of new car parks, footbridge, and various other stands as well. So it is an update. It is a genuine update. It's not just a sort of slap-on thing. So you can pick this one up for $31 or regional equivalent, available now from Fly Tampa. Continuing on with more scenery releases for Prepared v4.5 and v5, saw the release this week of the update from Simwings of their rendition of Hamburg International Airport. I feel like we've seen multiple issue releases of Hamburg recently, but anyway, so this update, I don't think it seems to add much. This seems to just primarily just make it compatible with v4.5 and v5. So from v3 previously, essentially by updating and making it 64-bit compatible. I'll be honest, the feature list looks suspiciously similar to the feature list of the previous version, so I don't think there's a whole lot added in, other than native support for the V5 SDK and V4.5 SDK. It's not cheap either. So we are looking at $30 or your original equivalent for a new purchase, or a 20% discount if you previously owned the previous edition, available now from Airsoft. Continuing on with more airport releases, and another one that's been long awaited, saw the release this week of Ben Gurion Airport in Israel, which is the largest airport in Israel and often referred to as the most secure airport in the world. It's got some kind of fascinating information, his history behind it, actually, as an old RAF base in Palestine, actually. But anyway, moving on. So this includes accurate layout of the airport as it appears in 2020, including accurate rendition of Terminal 3 and the old Terminal 1 buildings since it closed, full support for dynamic lighting, SOD animated jetway system for all gates as well, with custom runway apron textures and a full set of high-resolution photoreal seasonal ground textures for the airport and surrounding areas as well. So kind of cool, this one. Also includes an animated train outside the airport, which is kind of weird, kind of cool little creep. Available now for Prepared v4.5 and above for $25 or original equivalent, available now from Airsoft. Continuing on with scenery releases for Prepared V4 and above, saw the release of the latest in the True Earth family from Orbix, with the release of their rendition of Southern California. So this release includes over 79,000 square miles of aerial imagery, including over 700 custom-modeled points of interest throughout the region as well, and over 65 million accurately placed trees. I don't know how. I pity the poor intern that had to place all those trees. I really do. Includes a variety of custom autogen theme for the area, and a whole huge of VFR landmarks, including masts, wind farms, power lines, and lighthouses, all accurately placed. Custom 10-meter terrain mesh included as well, and with full set of accurate water masking for the entire coastline and most rivers and lakes as well, and full set of custom night lighting for all major cities as well. It looks absolutely spectacular. So you can pick this one up for $40 or your regional equivalent, available now from Orbix Direct. Continuing on with yet another release for Prepared V4 and V5 is all the release of a city and airport combo from developer from Paul Ricardo, with his release of his rendition of Rio De Janeiro. So not only does he do the city, but he also does the main airport, which is the Airport Santos Dumont, which is the main domestic airport for the city of Rio de Janeiro. Now it includes the full custom custom photoreal imagery of the whole of the greater Rio de Janeiro area, including a variety of custom buildings and custom autogen buildings for the terrain. Includes a variety of custom points of interest with custom 3D models as well, including the Rio Palo Bridge and the Christ the Redeemer statue. Of course, he really kind of couldn't do this one without doing a custom model of that, and the variety of cable cars heading up to Pau de Acor Mountain. I have certain I butchered that title, but there you go. And this one is available, as I said, with that, as well as updating the airport as well, with custom airport layout as it appears during 2020. And this is available now from Sim Market for $23 or your regional equivalent, available now. In another release for Prepared V4 and V5, BDO Aviation brought to us their rendition of Bangoy International Airport, also known as Davao International Airport, serving the city of Davao, funnily enough, in the Philippines. Not much about this. So apparently it's airport, detailed airport with detailed terminal buildings, apron taxiways. There is really little information going on about this. I assume it's up to date. Ground poly looks alright, grass textures looks fine. Haven't really got much more to say about that. I think the price point's a little lexy for it, but the custom buildings do look kind of good. That's it, I'll give them that. It's coming in at $20 or your original equivalent, available now from Sim Market. And another release from the same developer, BDO Aviation, saw the release this week of Adisutjipto International Airport in Indonesia, servicing the island of Java. So this is a major, it's a dual-use airport, this one. So this is both a civilian and military airport, and is the primary principal airport serving the area. Because a home to a Indonesian Air Force museum, which is kind of cool, with various aircraft there as well. Again, not a lot of information about this one. Include, as I said, it's a detailed terminal buildings. Like literally, they copy pasted the description list from both. But looking at textures, again, the building models look pretty good. The photo reel that's sitting on looks absolutely awful. Which kind of also applies to the previous release as well. So yeah, if you want to pick this one up, this one is coming in at $22, which is more expensive than the other one. Not sure why, but anyway, so $22 or your regional equivalent, available now from Sim Market. Continuing on with other releases for the ESP platforms, and this one to all of the ESP platforms, saw developer DC Designs release their long-awaited rendition of the Concorde. So the world's I was about to say only operational supersonic airliner, but technically there was the Russian Concorde as well. But you know, this is the one that this is the only one that actually operated at a profit. So this one was was a joint production from Aerospace Ital and British Aircraft Corporation, later British Aerospace. and was really whenever people think about supersonic transport, this is the aircraft you think of. Now, this is a highly detailed 3D model, both internal and externally, based on actual extensive research and actual on-site visits to the aircraft and actual engineering drawings. Includes a fully animated exterior, including all access doors, engine inlet ramps, thrust reversers, and the multi-stage nose droop of the windscreen has all been custom coded as well. Includes a crew-controlled GPU and a full set of PBR textures for those users using prepared V4 and V5. Now, the cockpit is also fully 3D. Is a fully 3D animated virtual cockpit, including all controls accurately modeled and laid out. Includes both the captain, first officers, and engineer stations are all modeled and are all operational as well. It also has an animated cockpit stretch during Mach 2 flight in accordance with the fuselage temperature during supercruise conditions. How he's done that, I have no idea. I cannot wait to find out, because that is freaking cool that you've managed to do that. Now, a couple of things in terms of aircraft systems as well. Accurate flight model with the Mach 2 supercruise capability and a realistic handling throughout the entire flight envelope, working TCAS display and inertial navigation system. So you don't get GPS direct here, you get an old school INS, which is so cool. And a custom coded engineer station with all of the avionics is featured there as well. Now, a word of warning on this one. This is a what do I want to say? What I just want to say is this is a medium fidelity aircraft. So you will be challenged by this aircraft, but you will also not have to spend 12 weeks in a conversion course to be able to fly it. So is it study level? No. Does everything work exactly 100% like the real aircraft would? No. It is 80% of the way there. It means it's close. Is it perfect? No. Is it close? Yes. Is it going to be close enough that everybody on the ground, that are us mere mortals who never got to fly the aircraft and will never get to fly the aircraft, is it close as we're going to get? Probably. So that's a really important thing I want to sort of talk about. That is the fact that it's not designed to be this study level BS that we keep hearing about, but it will provide you a challenge without a doubt. Now, this one's coming in for $42 or your regional equivalent for all of the ESP Sims family from FSX all the way up through to prepared V5 and everything in between for $42 or your regional equivalent, available now from Just Flight. Continuing on with another release, and then this again from the guys over at FS Academy with their release of their Air Race FSX. So these actually look like these are actually true missions. So these give you 5 new. So for those who might remember FSX, there are a series of air racing missions. They're modelled off the old Red Bull air races. So this system gives you 5 new tracks, including New York, Miami Beach, Portsmouth, Long Beach, and Chicago, and gives you 2 races at each of these. It also it makes use of a lot of the makes use of a lot of the features out of the FSX race mode that came with that as well. It's got a thing where it says that the hitting a pylon will cause it to slowly deflate. I can't remember. I don't think the deflation model was in FSX. I know there was a points system where if you hit it, it would be destroyed and it would disappear, but yeah, I don't think it deflated, so I think that is new. I may be wrong, but either way, so this one's available from Sim Market, coming in at $8 or your regional equivalent for FSX only, available now from Sim Market. Moving out of the ESP family of Sims, moving into the world of X-Plane for a single release this week from the SAM family of scenery developers. So they released this week of airport vehicles for X-Plane 11. Which is okay. So it's interesting. So it's got 3. So it gives you 3 vehicle sets. So it replaces all of the default vehicle sets in the sim, but it regionalizes them based on where you are in the world. So instead of just having one, you'll see the same pushback truck wherever you land in the world. If you land in New York, and then you land in Gatwick, and then you land in Shanghai, you will see 3 different pushback trucks, which is kind of awesome. I really appreciate it. It's one of those, again, those little details that's kind of cool. So as I said, so this gives you a worldwide replacement for all static and animated airport vehicles, includes 3 different vehicle sets, North America, Europe, and Asia, full use of PBR texturing throughout all of the models, and a regional system that will apply the vehicles depending on each airport in real time. So you don't have to sort of say, so if you are doing an intercontinental flight, you will see differences between them when you land, which is really, really awesome. So this one's available from Airsoft for $18 available now from Airsoft. Moving out of the world of X-Plane and moving into the world of DCS, saw the release this week of the A10C2 Tank Killer. So this is a reboot of possibly the best-selling module that DCS World and Eagle Dynamics ever produced, and was the first module that I ever picked up, and I absolutely love the Warthog. It is just an awesome, incredible aeroplane, and this is their reboot of it. So essentially, this is a overhaul of it both internally and externally. So they've overhauled the aircraft systems. They've overhauled the 3D model as well. They've also added in a variety of new weapons as well and new features, including the new AGM-65L Mavericks, GBU-54 JDAMs, as laser guided JDAMs are included as well. The new helmet-mounted integrated queuing system, the Scorpion set, has been included with this one as well, and a updated cockpit textures and layout as well. So kind of cool, kind of awesome. I'm hearing mixed. Apparently, there is an upgrade path, but I'm seeing an upgrade path for the Steam users, but I'm not seeing one for non-Steam users, which is a little concerning. But anyway, so you're looking at $80 for new purchases, available now from DCS Worlds. Moving out of flight simulation, moving into the world of the Asphalt, saw the release this week from American Truck Simulator of their latest truck, the Western Star 49X. Now, this is very little information about this one, but it seems like this is like a bit of a work in progress. So apparently, this is the latest model of truck from Western Star, and it combines the latest in safety technology and driver comfort. And so I don't know what that means. I feel that this one might be a partnership with the actual truck manufacturer of Western Star, I feel. But anyway, so initially it comes with this one. At initial launch comes with two set forward chassis variants with 12 engine and 7 transmission options in day cab form only. They have, however, indicated that they will be adding larger sleeper variants, and other engine options and engine sounds will be added later on as development goes on. However, the thing to note about this one is that this has been released to the community for free. So this is available free to all American Truck Simulator users, available now on Steam. And finally, rounding out the NovaWrap for this week, saw we leave Earth's atmosphere behind and head into a galaxy far, far away with the release this week of Star Wars Squadrons. I can't tell you anything more than this thing is freaking cool. Okay, so my heady days when I started my beginnings of flight simulation, I started flying. I flew many hours in TIE Fighter. The original TIE Fighter. I then went back and played the original X-Wing, and then I spent hours and hours and hours in X-Wing versus, and not as many hours in X-Wing versus TIE Fighter though, because I was more into story rather than multiplayer and X-Wing Alliance, and all of those games are just so awesome. This title really harks back to all that stuff. It has all of that content. It has that feel, that zippiness, that grim grittiness of a galaxy far, far away in combat, and just done in such an awesome way. However, I have a list of bugbears with it a mile long. There's no real issue with gameplay. I have some issues with the UX design. The UX design is absolute shite. It is crap. Whoever you hired for UX design needs to be shot. Well, actually, let me rephrase it. Actually, no. The UX design is fine if you're flying on console. If you're flying on console and console is your main platform, then it is fine. It's actually really kind of good. But if you're a PC gamer, then the interface is awful. It is absolutely terrible. There are bugbears galore with controller interaction, which is really really frustrating. Particularly when you're trying to use actual flight simulation hardware. I'm actually seriously thinking of going back and trying again with just a gamepad. But anyway, there's that. And then finally, I mean, overall, it is absolutely amazing. But I got a bugbear with that. The only other bugbear that I have, though, finally, is the fact that it's okay. No, it's great that it's got VR support out of the box, and that's awesome. Great for you guys at VR. But those of us who don't use VR and we use Track IR, there is zero support for Track IR. Why? How did you get VR support in there, but you didn't get Track IR support in there? I mean, I'm playing it without it. I'm still loving it. It's still great, but that's really frustrating that I can't sort of turn around and see my R2, my astromech behind me, which I can do, which I know my VR flying friends can. That's a little frustrating. It's a little annoying, but it's a quality of life thing. Is it stopping me from enjoying the game and recommending it? Absolutely not. I recommend it 100%. It is a bucket ton of fun. But yeah, it's just kind of frustrating with a couple of quality of life issues. But anyway, so if you are to pick this one up, you can just pick this one up either for PC, Xbox, or for PlayStation. Available now for $40 US, no microtransactions, all included. Available now on your favorite platform. Available now. And with that, folks, that does now round out the NovaWrap for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos and want to see more. And you can always keep up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24. Alright, folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.